All right, hey guys, and welcome back. I hope all of you have been doing fine. There's so many things going on in the world right now. A lot of countries are struggling from COVID. There's a lot of lockdown going on, and everyone is dealing with their own shit. I just don't want to dwell on it too much. Just want to get straight to it. So, I watched a few new movies recently, and the first one I want to talk about is The Vault, because this is the most recent one I watched, and I think it is also probably the worst on my list, I think. But anyway, let's just start off with The Vault. So, when it comes to The Vault, the first thing I realized about this film is that it's pretty low budget. I'm not sure what the actual budget of this film is, but it looks pretty low budget. And despite it being, like looking like a low budget film, probably due to the quality of the cinematography, maybe the type of filter that was used on the film, and maybe the type of shots that were taken. There were not many close up and zoom and high movement shots. There were a lot of shots where you can feel that it's just a cameraman running around and following people instead of there ever being a harness or something like that, or even a machine. There's no car chases. It's not really your high octane action film. This is more of a very simple, low budget kind of a what can you call it? Heist movie. It's sort of a heist movie, and if you ask me, I kind of liked it for the fact that looking at it, if it was really really low budget, I think this was a pretty good success. It looks as though a media student took a really good film. That's what it looks like. And no shade to the director. Is it Hami Balaguero or something? No shade to him. I'm not sure, who this director actually is and whether he is, extremely talented or anything like that. But regardless, looking at the previous films this director has taken, I realized that he likes to take all of these very simple low budget kind of indie sort of films where it's a small crew that's been working on these films, and it's not really doesn't involve any CGI or anything like that. It's just really good camera work, but it's not the same as like a high quality film that uses machines to take the shots. Like in BBS, you have a lot of machines moving around to take Batman and Superman running across the screen, and this is mostly just people doing the camera work. And I like that because of the fact that it's so down to earth and so like you could do it, right? It feels like that. Regardless, that doesn't mean I'm going to rate it any higher, because it just doesn't feel like that big of a movie because of the way the story goes. The first half of the film, like I'm talking like the first hour of this film, is purely building up and introducing the characters and kind of setting up the foundation of the story. And I felt that 1 hour of a build up was too long for what the plot of the story was, which is pretty simple, right? The actual things that really happen, that really keep you in the moment in this film, have all to do with the heist moment itself. And that's the second half of this film, which was, like, that's the more memorable part, right? The first part is not really that important, not really that memorable. You have a lot of people talking, a lot of discussions, and things like that. And yeah, it was really boring. But the second half of the film, once it picks up with them actually going forward with the plan, and with what's his name, Tom, played by Freddie Highmore, having devised a plan to actually break into this unbreakable vault, then it really picks up and things get pretty interesting from there. So looking back at the trailer, you see like this part of them meeting up and everything, and just devising a plan and all of that. Like all of this, the enigma that has been not solved, and all of these scenes and everything. All of this is technically the first half of the film, right? The second half of the film literally starts somewhere around the second half of the trailer as well, and this is pretty much the second half of the film, which they don't show much of, which I like about the trailer. But however, there wasn't really that many incredible or intense moments. It was very simplistic. They just took a bunch of fingerprints. They just just got a guy to figure out the balancing mechanism of the vault. And the security and all that, there were no fights involved needed to take out security. There were no like gas or anything to put people to sleep. There was just a guy they took a fingerprint from because they gave him a cup to hold, and then they just roped in from the top of the roof of some building. Once again, no security there. Basically, it felt too easy, right? It felt way too easy. They didn't have to come up with a major distraction because they used the FIFA World Cup 2010, I believe, as a reference to kind of say that people are distracted in the World Cup. Therefore, this is the chance for us to do this heist. But that doesn't make any sense because all the guards are on high alert during World Cup, and there's like 100 guards, right? You see them towards the end. It's like 100 guards, but they're all just sitting in one place. They're not walking around checking an area, and areas where there are no guards, there are no CCTV cameras, and most of the cameras that are there get hacked by this single guy in a chair kind of thing. And I felt that okay, fine, there's a guy who hacks into these systems, and there's no counter hacker, so it felt like there was no real threat to what they were doing, right? There's no guys that can kill you because the guys that do show up to shoot them never really make it to them. There were no guys for them to actually fight because none of them actually got caught. Yeah, actually, right? None of them got caught. Yeah, that's true. And then the next one is that the guards that are patrolling and the security cameras that were hacked didn't have anyone to like counter hack them or check the security threats. Everyone is just watching this heist, like the what do you call this, bank security and the wall security were just watching the heist happen through a camera for like the entirety of the heist. They had nothing to do with what is happening in the heist, and I felt that was so funny. It's just stupid for me. The story really needed a lot of things to happen, which didn't happen. Like you need to give intense moments, and I think I felt only one or two of those. The first intense moment was the part where this girl, Lorraine, actually tries to break into a wall to steal a key, and the guy who like like the room where she's in belongs to this guy who's really high profile, right? And he actually comes to almost catch her, and like right before he comes to catch her, she just suddenly like pretends that she's checking the photo and whatever. They just cut shots where they don't show what really happens and how the characters escape the moment, and then they cut the shot, and then he's there, and then she escapes because he's just stupid and he's just smoking or whatever. But I like that intensity because she changed the subject to tell him that the photo will be fine if you stop smoking, and because you're smoking, you have to crack a window open all the time. And that's how that's what they used to escape towards the end. I like that connection, the intelligence involved in that scene. That part I liked, but how they cut too quickly to not show what really happens, I felt it was just like you do it once because you want to show the characters awesome that you don't ever know what they did. That's pretty cool. Like Spider-Man suddenly disappears from a side, from a corner, or Batman just walks away from Jim Gordon. That's pretty cool. But if you do that every single time for every character, that means there's no intensity at all involved because the characters are just too awesome. They all are just going to get away. And similarly, the main character Tom as well actually ends up in a scene where he's like trying to put the key back in the same room that Lorraine stole it from. And what do you call it? A security guard comes to check on him, and they just cut to the scene where he's just wiping the tables, right? So the intensity is just like, oh, she's coming, they're coming, they're gonna get you, they're gonna get you, and that's it. It's just they're gonna get you for the rest of the film, and no one gets caught. No one ends up in a situation where they're almost caught either, because for some reason, uh, no one cares about this vault actually, because it's just such a secure vault. Even the guys who are in charge of it can't get in, and it just turns out to be the way. So for me, The Vault was, it was a nice film if it was actually taken by some kind of college student in a camera, like a phone camera or something. I think it would have been a pretty big one. I would say that this guy has a bright future. But knowing that it's from the director of Wreck and Nameless, I mean, these are two movies I watched. I didn't really watch the other two, but I watched these two films and I feel that it's not really a good not really a good way to progress. Regardless, the acting of Freddie Highmore, Liam Cunningham, Astrid, I believe Sam was okay, but the rest of them did pretty well. Even Lewis stole some scenes, and I liked that those moments with these characters. But there was no real villains to be afraid of, and yeah, there's technically no villains in this film. Everyone is just some blur NPC as the main characters try to steal these valuable Spanish coins or something from this vault. And yep, that's about it. If you ask me, I would rate the vault probably. You know what? Let me just pull up a rating for you here. There you go, a 3 out of 10 for The Vault. I know it's a bit sad, but I have to be pretty honest, it's not really something that would be considered anywhere in the top 100 list of heist movies. It's really far down. And, it wanted to look like a heist film, but it took too long to build up, and then the rest of the film is just not, like not really up to what all other heist movies have done. You want to see something cool. You want to see something interesting. If you want to show that the characters do it in such a simple way, they don't overcomplicate things. They don't have high actions and whatever. Fine, but for people who want to do it in such an easy way, they have to be easily caught, right? So they have to figure out something incredible to do that. And even if you want to show that it's really simple, it's really something easy, and anyone can do it, then you have to be smart about it and say and show why other people aren't able to do what these people are doing. And they didn't do any of that. Like if you watch Fast 7, they basically break down this wall. There's a lot of high powered cars, there's a lot of machine guns involved, there's high speed chase. And when you look at that, you realize that, yeah, there's no one in the world crazy enough or have the resources to pull off this kind of shit, right? So it's pretty awesome when you watch that film. Despite the overdone action and whatever, if you think about it, no one's going to have such powerful cars to pull out an entire wall from a bank and get away with it. And similarly, if you watch something like Ocean's 11, the crew that was assembled by George Clooney are extremely what do you call this talented at what each of them do. They're really good at tech, they're really good at stealing, they're really good at all these kinds of different unique things. And you see them actually having their moments and having the intense moments and all of that. So in comparison to those two, this movie just, as I said, it's like a bunch of main characters versus a bunch of NPCs. I don't really see any other point to the film. The only thing I would like is that the actors did play their part. I felt the script was just really bad, and showing some intelligent moments like the windows and maybe the scale system, which is quite interesting for a design of something that was built. Okay, fine, I can give some points for those, but other than that, that's about it. So this is my rating for The Vault. I'm not sure if you guys have watched this, but if you want to, I would say that I don't know if you want to watch it because you're a heist fan, maybe. Yeah, sure, but you're gonna be disappointed. That's all I can say. All right, guys, that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.